Hi, everybody. It's Deirdre Fay, and I want to talk about something that's a little complicated to talk about today, and it has to do with how do we know when it's our pattern or there's real threat going on, especially in an environment that we're in, like right now, when is a legitimate uncertainty outside, right? I don't have my regular notepad here, my pad, so I want to just try my best here. So somebody I was talking to this morning talked about this very subject, which is why I thought it would be so important to talk about. How do we know when to listen to the signals of danger? Is it happening inside of me? Is there danger there? Or is it my pattern showing up? And those of you who have done any work with me, sorry, I don't have a clear sheet of paper here. If this is going to work, right? So bear with me here. Is when there's this line here, this is what I call we can call what distinguishes the past from the present. We talk about the dissociative barrier. We talk about everything. But here we are in the here and now, in this present moment, right? And the past is here. And our task is to be able to distinguish the two, to know when is this past intruding. So the question is, how do we listen to the signal of a danger? Because our body in the here and now is going to be signaling when something happens. It could be signaling danger. But we have to look, is it happening here in this moment, or is it in the past? All right. Oh gosh, this is just not showing up the way I want, but you're getting the picture of it. If not, let me know and I can redo it another time. What happens is we have to look around and separate out the facts in our situation from what is encoded, the imprints of our past. If in the past we had experiences of danger in being ignored or neglected or abandoned or dismissed, or actual physical danger or sexual danger, all these things, they are going to leave an imprint on us in the past, and it's going to be affecting our current reality. So our task is very much of how do we distinguish it? So this morning when I was working with somebody, we were looking at, well, my heart in this moment, so here's this beautiful heart, feels like doing X, Y, and Z, right? And so that comes from a pure motivation. And this needs to also be looked at. When is my heart coming from a pure motivation, or when is it coming from a pattern? Like, will you love me? Will you be my friend? Will, all kinds of old patterning that come up that motivate us. But if you work with it and you're clear about it, that this motivation is actually from a clear place in you and that you want to do the best for yourself, it's pure generosity, that's to trust. Now, here's the thing, though. Even though it's coming from a pure place inside, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get activated. You could still very easily get activated, especially in this time zone that we're in, where there is so much activation going on. You're probably going to pick it up. You're going to be activated. So the question is there, if it's coming from your pureness, and then you get rejected or hurt or humiliated or shamed or whatever might come from the outside. So your inner signals are pure, right? But then there's going to be the outer signals coming in. And maybe somebody doesn't respond to you the way that you want them to. And so what's coming in is then going to hurt you. Your task, though, is to stay oriented here in your heart. Stay oriented into what was pure in you so that you keep coming from this. And it creates a protective shield, buffering any of the old, well, actually, they're coming from here. The signals are coming in. Like if somebody doesn't pay attention to you the way that you want them to, and you hear that as rejection or something's wrong with you, maybe it's not. In this day and age especially, but certainly for all of us who are working at repatterning ourselves, it is about asking ourselves to see the best in ourselves and to see the best in other people. Like maybe other people aren't aware or don't know what to do with that kind of generosity from your heart that's coming out. And so they protect themselves by not responding in the way that you want. Maybe that's what's there. But if we see them as responding in the best possible way, we circumvent. It's a protective barrier against the past invading the present. Now, I know that's a little convoluted, but I really want to know what you think of that. Does that make sense? Does it help you? Because I want to make it clear if it doesn't. So this is really key. This is what I see happening in so many of my sessions. People are talking about how much their young parts are getting activated is really what it is. They want to know who's going to take care of me in this situation. So our task right now is to repattern that old pattern, the developmental task of being an adult that I've talked so much about, and being able to access our own inner wisdom so that we can be centered and guided from within. And then how do we deal with the outside world? So this is what's key. This is what's key. That's why in that drawing that I just did, that wasn't maybe as clear as my other drawings are, is how do I stay centered and grounded in my own motivation, my own heart's movement out, and then protect myself, not in a defensive kind of way, but be able to discern the signals coming in a way that actually benefit me rather than throwing me under the bus. And that requires seeing the best of myself and seeing the best in other people. Now, here's the thing. People will say, but if I'm seeing the best in other people, then it's just life is going to come in and take over. I'm still going to be hurt and disappointed. But you know what? Maybe that'll be true, but you'll be able to deal with it because you're inside yourself instead of running from the old patterns. All right. I need your feedback on this because it's a little complicated. It's not as simple as I like to make things. So I want to know from you how to make this even more simple, and your questions and your comments make all the difference as I sort it out and get clear. So let me know. Post and let me know. All right, my loves. Bye.